This week I was talking with Mollie Eastman again. This was episode 3 for our little sleep mini series, and we talked about sleep disorders. And I think this is one of the things that is misunderstood or not taken seriously is our sleep and sleep disorders. We were raised, the misnomer with entrepreneurs, bragging rights is we got to burn the candle at both ends. The successful people sacrifice sleep for growth, and it's a bragging right that you can say, I don't need any sleep, I can keep going. And I used to believe that. And I don't think it's because we're younger and we can do it and our body can keep up with it. It was the fact that, honestly, subconsciously, ego thing, and we start telling lies to ourselves that for us to do stuff, to be successful, we need to work long hours. As a startup, yes, we do that. We end up, we got to get stuff done, and we fall into that trap, and then we create a habit of always having to work late and long hours. And the more we did, the more successful, because you know what? We were making more money. But it was at the sacrifice of our health and our relationships around us. So a few things I wanted, for a long time I noticed I never got a good sleep. At least, sometimes if I slept too long, I felt crappy. I didn't feel well. And the less sleep I had, I felt better. And I think there's a balance there, but even to the point there, I was doing 3-4 hours a day. And the joke was I would work. And then every 4 to 5 weeks, I'd have a weekend of constant napping. And then I'd just start up again and work with no sleep. But what I didn't realize was my sleep disorder, sleep apnea, restless legs, and then even jaw clenching. And for the jaw clenching one, I would wake up in pain that my jaws would be seized and very, very tight. And then after a while, my dentist noticed that I was starting to wear away my enamel in my teeth and got me a mouth guard for protecting my teeth. But in a way, what happened was I started to sleep better because I wasn't grinding as much. And it kept my mouth separated enough to allow airflow to go through, which so not having the mouth guard aggravated my sleep apnea. After a while, when I started to learn more about sleep apnea, I talked to my general practitioner, my doctor, and he got me a sleep test, and that's where I discovered that I have severe apnea when I'm sleeping on my back, and I have light or mild apnea when I'm sleeping on my sides. And I got a CPAP machine now. So I got something that's connected to my nose. It really felt silly and crappy. But you know what? After a few months, I noticed there was a difference in my sleep. One, my wife was waking me up less because I wasn't snoring as much. And for me, the sleep apnea was definitely no breathing for a while. And then taking that big influx of air turned into snoring. But there's one big snore that would wake up the whole household. It was a joke, a running joke in the house. And then even with the snoring, once I lost a lot of weight, my snoring decreased. But like Mollie was explaining, even the respiratory ear, nose, and throat doctors are starting to get into understanding how the snoring is occurring and helping people with that. And the positional therapy is one of the first things we should probably do. If we're not sleeping well on our back, then we should try to stop sleeping on our back or train our bodies to do this. And honestly, I wish I would have known 15, 20 years ago about sleep disorders, or at least have sleep disorders acceptable to go through. I just remember it had to be very, very severe before they actually got you tested or do something about it. And it was all medical related, medicines and that. But if it's slight, our emotional regulation is very dependent on how well we sleep as ADHD brains. And I see that. Just like my coach Dan Sullivan said. He said, isn't it amazing that all the stupid people show up when you're tired? Well, our patience runs thinner. Our mental energy is depleted. So that's why it's harder for us to maintain and have control of our emotions. Remember, ADHD brains feel emotions 1,000 times stronger, immensely, intensely, raw, and immediate. So if we're very tired and we start to get the don't give a shit attitude, which I find I'm starting to use as a warning sign of my I'm getting fatigue, and my impulsivity to react will get worse. We need to keep that in mind. Even if you think it's a slight sleep disorder, go get it checked, because that slightness will make it a huge difference. Like even for me, I'm still not getting the best sleep or good sleep, but I'm getting a hell of a lot better than I had before. And I'm noticing a difference. And even to the point where I'm missing those good night's sleep. So I'm actually trying to get my sleep preparation a lot better and more consistent so that I can have that. And it's very important for you to consider the sleep and get out of your head. Stop thinking that you got to work all these hours for bragging rights. Because I think subconsciously, I know that your subconscious saying it's bragging rights so you can say to others. We just want to feel accepted. We want to be seen. I get that. But for me, I got over my ego and started saying, hey, it'd be nice to hang out with you another few hours, but I got to go to sleep. Oh, yeah, stick around, have another couple drinks. No, I'm gone. I'm going to sleep. I'm putting my priority of sleep first. And a lot of people are doing that. Like Mollie said, sleeping is a skill. Dan Guido was on, and he said he takes that as a task. It's a project. He schedules his time. He's following a calendar of sleep, and that's very important. And I think that's a really good way of looking at it. It's a project. Quickly, a couple of things that we talked about was insomnia. To me, the biggest difference was I thought insomnia was only about having problems falling asleep, but she also said it's a problem staying asleep. So I'm looking at my history. Maybe I have insomnia. I got no problems falling asleep, but it's the staying asleep that's an issue. Maybe that's insomnia. So we have the sleep apnea, which is the not breathing during the night. You have the snoring. We got the restless leg syndrome, which is also prominent with ADHD brains. And things to keep in mind, red flags that you might have a sleep disorder, even if it's slight or severe: daytime fatigue, falling asleep at the weirdest and oddest places, how fast you can fall asleep at odd times, watching TV and friends at a movie theater. Morning headaches, she said that was a big one. I never realized that. Dry mouth, I can relate to. If I'm doing too much mouth breathing, it gets really dry. I wake up. And the sore jaw is a big one. So the clenching at night, why is it? And that's affecting your sleep. Maybe it's a mental or thinking problem we're having during sleep, but it's still affecting our sleep. So in a way, it's a sleep disorder. The one last thing I want to say is kids can have sleep apnea too. That was a big eye-opener for me. So I really hope you enjoyed the conversation we had with Mollie about sleep disorders, because I think this is very important as ADHD entrepreneurs. We got to master our sleep. We got to master our brain and figure out ways to calm it down, to slow it down before bed. And this will be one of them. And it would definitely help with the emotional regulation. And you know what? It'd be nice to just be awake and have full of energy for everyone and be present when we can. So let me know what you think about the conversations we had with Mollie about sleep. We talked about sleep preparation, and sleep disorders. I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at André@theimpulsivethinker.com. I'd love to hear from you. So take care, and thanks again for listening with me.